gratitude, I will guide you to the heart of the river where your wish can be fulfilled. The fairy led Eliana to a secluded part of the river, where the waters sparkled even more brightly. Eliana placed the gemstone and feather into the river's flow. The river responded with a dazzling display of light, and a gentle mist enveloped the area. From the mist emerged a serene, ethereal figure, the spirit of the river. You have proven yourself with courage, wisdom, and compassion, the spirit said. The magic of the river is now yours to use. The healing waters will flow to your grandmother. Eliana thanked the river spirit and hurried back to Rivendell. She collected some of the magical water in a vial and brought it to her grandmother. With hope in her heart, she administered the water to her grandmother. To everyone's amazement, her grandmother's health improved almost instantly. She sat up, her eyes sparkling with vitality. The village celebrated the miraculous recovery, and Eliana's bravery and selflessness were honored by all. The enchanted river continued to flow through Rivendell, its magic a reminder of the power of courage, wisdom, and compassion. Eliana's story became a cherished legend in the village, inspiring others to seek the magic within themselves and to help those in need. And so, Rivendell thrived, and Eliana's grandmother lived many more years, surrounded by the love and gratitude of her family. The river's magic continued to bring hope and healing, flowing with the gentle promise that the greatest magic comes from a heart filled with love. Once upon a time, in a lush, green valley surrounded by towering mountains, there was a mystical forest known for its enchanting trees and sparkling streams. In the heart of this forest stood an ancient willow tree, called the Whispering Willow. The tree was known for its silver leaves that shimmered in the moonlight and its ability to communicate with those who listened closely. In a nearby village lived a young girl named Lila, who loved to explore the forest and listen to the songs of the woodland creatures. Her greatest fascination was the Whispering Willow, which she had heard about in the village tales. The tree was said to hold the wisdom of the ages and could grant a single wish to those who approached with a pure heart. One sunny morning, Lila's peaceful village was struck by a great misfortune. A terrible drought had swept across the land, withering the crops and drying up the streams. The villagers were worried and despondent, unable to find a solution to the crisis. Lila knew that the Whispering Willow might be able to help. So she decided to seek out the ancient tree and ask for its guidance. Armed with a small satchel of provisions and a heart full of hope, Lila ventured into the forest. As she walked, she marveled at the vibrant colors of the wildflowers and the songs of the birds, though her thoughts remained focused on the challenge ahead. The forest, usually welcoming, seemed more somber today, as if it too felt the weight of the drought. After several hours of walking, Lila arrived at the clearing where the Whispering Willow stood. Its majestic branches swayed gently in the breeze, and its silver leaves glistened like stars. Lila approached the tree with reverence and sat down at its base. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, preparing to make her wish. "Great Whispering Willow," she said softly, "our village is suffering from a terrible drought. The land is dry, and our crops are failing. I have come to ask for your help. Please, show us a way to bring water back to our land." The Whispering Willow remained silent for a moment. Its branches still and its leaves whispering only faintly. Then, a soft voice, like a gentle rustle of leaves, spoke from within the tree. "Lila, you have a pure heart, and your wish is noble. To restore the land, you must embark on a journey to find the source of the drought, a hidden spring that lies beyond the Forest of Echoes. There, you will find the answer you seek." Lila's eyes widened with both excitement and apprehension. The Forest of Echoes was known for its labyrinthine paths and the illusions it created to confuse travelers. But she knew she had to take on the challenge for the sake of her village. The next day, with the blessing of the Whispering Willow and a renewed sense of purpose, Lila set off toward the Forest of Echoes. The forest was dense and dark, with trees that seemed to twist and turn in strange patterns. Lila followed the guidance she had received from the willow, keeping her wits about her as she navigated the deceptive trails. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the echoes grew louder and more confusing. Voices seemed to call out from every direction, offering both encouragement and false paths. But Lila remembered the Whispering Willow's advice and focused on her goal, trusting her instincts. After what felt like hours of wandering, Lila stumbled upon a hidden grotto with a crystal-clear pool at its center. The water was shimmering with an ethereal light, and at the edge of the pool stood a small, intricately carved fountain. The fountain was covered in vines, and the water that flowed from it was dry and stagnant. Lila approached the fountain and noticed a plaque at its base. The plaque read, "To restore the flow, one must give from their own heart." Understanding the message, Lila took a deep breath and reached into her satchel. She pulled out a small silver locket that her grandmother had given her, a treasured family heirloom. With a heavy heart, she placed the locket on the fountain and closed her eyes, making a silent wish for the drought to end and the land to be healed. As she stepped back, the pool's water began to glow brighter, and the fountain started to flow once more. The water gushed forth with renewed vigor, and the ethereal light grew brighter, illuminating the grotto. The spring had been restored, and with it, the source of the drought was being addressed. Lila hurried back to her village, eager to share the good news. When she arrived, she found that the skies had begun to clear and dark, heavy clouds had gathered above, bringing much-needed rain. The villagers rejoiced as the rain nourished their crops and filled the streams. They marveled at Lila's bravery and the restoration of their land. Lila visited the Whispering Willow again to thank the tree for its guidance. The willow's branches swayed gently, and a soothing voice spoke to her once more. "You have shown great courage and selflessness, Lila. The drought has been lifted, and your village will prosper once more. Remember that the true magic lies not in the wish, but in the act of giving and the strength of your heart." Lila smiled and nodded, grateful for the wisdom she had gained. The village thrived, and the story of Lila's journey became a cherished legend. The Whispering Willow continued to stand as a symbol of hope and guidance, its echoes carrying messages of wisdom to those who sought its counsel. And so, the valley flourished, and the magic of the Whispering Willow lived on, reminding all who visited of the power of courage, kindness, and the enduring strength of a pure heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by verdant meadows and sparkling streams, there was a charming tea house named the Enchanted Teapot. It was run by an elderly woman named Mrs. Willow, who was known throughout the land for her magical teas that could heal hearts, lift spirits, and even grant the occasional wish. The tea house was a place of warmth and wonder. The walls were adorned with colorful tapestries depicting whimsical scenes, and the shelves were lined with teapots and cups that seemed to hum softly when no one was watching. Mrs. Willow herself was a gentle soul with a twinkle in her eye and a kind word for every guest. One bright morning, a young girl named Eliza arrived at the tea house. Eliza was a curious and adventurous child, always exploring the world with a sense of wonder. She had heard tales of Mrs. Willow's extraordinary teas and was eager to see if the stories were true. As Eliza entered the tea house, she was greeted by the soothing aroma of herbs and spices. Mrs. Willow was behind the counter, carefully brewing a pot of tea. "Welcome, dear," she said with a warm smile. "What can I do for you today?" Eliza hesitated, then spoke with a mix of excitement and nervousness. "I've heard so much about your magical teas. I'd like to try one, if that's all right." Mrs. Willow's eyes sparkled. "Ah, a seeker of magic. Let me prepare something special for you." With practiced grace, Mrs. Willow selected a teapot made of emerald green porcelain and began to brew a tea with ingredients that Eliza couldn't quite identify. As the tea steeped, a faint glow emanated from the pot, and a gentle, melodic tune filled the air. "Here you are," Mrs. Willow said, pouring the tea into a delicate cup. "This is the tea of wishes. It is said to reveal the true desires of the heart." Eliza took a sip, and immediately, her eyes widened with surprise. The tea was unlike anything she had ever tasted, sweet and comforting, with a hint of something magical. As she continued to drink, she felt a sense of clarity and purpose that she had never experienced before. Suddenly, a soft, shimmering light filled the room. Eliza looked around, and to her amazement, the tea house began to transform. The walls became transparent, revealing a breathtaking landscape of rolling hills and sparkling lakes, as if the tea house itself had become a portal to another world. From the light emerged a gentle voice. "Greetings, Eliza. I am the spirit of the tea house. You have discovered a hidden realm of magic, and now you may make one wish, something that comes from the deepest part of your heart." Eliza was taken aback but quickly composed herself. She thought of her family, her friends, and the many things she wished for, but one wish stood out above all others. "I wish for a way to bring happiness and joy to those who need it most." The spirit of the tea house smiled. "A noble wish indeed. Your heart is pure, and your wish will be granted." With a wave of the spirit's hand, the magical landscape around Eliza began to shift and change. A beautiful, glowing tree appeared in the center of the tea house. Its branches were adorned with golden fruit that shimmered like stars. "This is the tree of joy," the spirit explained. "It will grant you the ability to share happiness with others. Each time you offer one of these golden fruits to someone in need, it will bring them a moment of joy and comfort." Eliza's heart swelled with gratitude. She picked a fruit from the tree and thanked the spirit. "I will do my best to use this gift wisely." As Eliza left the tea house, the magical world faded, and she found herself back in the cozy room of the Enchanted Teapot. Mrs. Willow was waiting with a knowing smile. "Remember, dear, the true magic lies not in the tea but in the kindness of your heart." Eliza returned to her village, carrying the golden fruit. She used it to bring joy to those around her, comforting a lonely elder, brightening the day of a sick child, and helping her friends through tough times. Each time, the golden fruit worked its magic, creating moments of happiness and light. News of Eliza's kindness spread throughout the land, and the village thrived with a newfound sense of community and joy. And although the enchanted tea house and the tree of joy remained a cherished secret between Eliza and Mrs. Willow, the spirit of magic and kindness continued to flourish wherever Eliza went. From then on, Eliza knew that the true essence of magic was found in the simple act of bringing happiness to others. And as the seasons changed, the village of Moonhaven was filled with laughter, love, and the warm glow of shared joy. Once upon a time, in a verdant kingdom surrounded by towering mountains and deep, ancient woods, there lay a small village named Willowbrook. Willowbrook was known for its lush meadows, sparkling streams, and the mysterious enchanted forest that bordered the village. This forest was rumored to be home to magical creatures and hidden wonders, and it held one special secret: the Moonlit Melody, a magical song that was said to grant a single wish when played under the full moon. The village had long admired the beauty of the enchanted forest but had never ventured too far inside due to the many legends and warnings about the forest's enchantments. However, one young girl named Leora was different. Leora was brave and had a deep love for music. She often dreamed of hearing the Moonlit Melody, believing it could help her village, which had recently been plagued by a mysterious drought that had left the crops withered and the streams dry. One evening, as the full moon began to rise in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the landscape, Leora decided to embark on a quest to find the Moonlit Melody and make a wish to restore her village's prosperity. Armed with a small flute that her grandmother had given her and a heart full of hope, she ventured into the enchanted forest. The forest was alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures, and the moonlight filtered through the canopy, creating a magical, shimmering effect on the forest floor. Leora walked cautiously but with purpose, guided by a sense of wonder and determination. As she ventured deeper into the forest, she noticed that the air seemed to hum with a soft, enchanting melody that grew stronger as she went along. After hours of wandering, Leora arrived at a moonlit clearing surrounded by ancient, towering trees. In the center of the clearing stood an old, gnarled oak tree with a hollow at its base. The soft melody seemed to emanate from the tree itself. With bated breath, Leora approached the tree, her flute in hand. Just then, a shimmering figure emerged from the shadows. It was a graceful, ethereal creature with wings like those of a butterfly and eyes that sparkled like the stars. The creature was the guardian of the Moonlit Melody, and her name was Seraphina. "Welcome, Leora," Seraphina said with a voice as melodic as the song itself. "You seek the Moonlit Melody, but to hear it, you must prove your heart's true desire. Leora nodded, feeling both excited and nervous. I wish to restore the prosperity of my village. We have suffered a drought, and our crops are withered. I believe the moonlit melody can help us. Seraphina smiled warmly. To prove your worth, you must complete 3 trials. Each trial will test a different quality of your heart. Only then will the moonlit melody be revealed. The first trial was a test of courage. Seraphina conjured a thick mist that filled the clearing, making it difficult to see. Out of the mist emerged shadows that seemed to whisper and wail. Leora, though frightened, stood firm and made her way through the mist with determination, her love for her village giving her strength. For the second trial, Seraphina presented a riddle: I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I? Leora thought carefully and answered, a joke. The answer was correct, and the clearing brightened with soft, moonlit light. The third and final trial was a test of compassion. Seraphina showed Leora a small, injured fawn lying under the tree. Leora approached the fawn gently, using her knowledge of herbal remedies to tend to its wounds and comforting it with soothing words. The fawn's pain eased, and it nuzzled Leora in gratitude. Seraphina, moved by Leora's bravery, wisdom, and compassion, nodded approvingly. You have passed the trials. The moonlit melody is yours to hear. With a wave of her hand, Seraphina revealed a beautiful, silver harp that seemed to glow with moonlight. As Leora played the harp, the moonlit melody filled the air, a hauntingly beautiful tune that seemed to weave together the very essence of the moon and stars. The melody spread through the forest, carrying with it a powerful magic. As the final notes of the melody faded into the night, Leora felt a warm, comforting light envelop her. She thanked Seraphina and made her way back to Willowbrook. When Leora arrived at the village, the once dry river began to flow with fresh, clear water, and the crops started to bloom with renewed vigor. The villagers marveled at the miraculous change and celebrated with joy, attributing the transformation to Leora's bravery and the magic of the moonlit melody. From that day forward, the enchanted forest and the moonlit melody became symbols of hope and wonder for Willowbrook. Leora's courage and compassion were remembered as a shining example of how a pure heart can bring about true magic. And so, the tale of Leora and the moonlit melody became a cherished story in Willowbrook, a reminder that even in the darkest times, the light of hope and the power of a kind heart can bring about the most wondrous changes. Once upon a time, in a realm where the sun always seemed to shine just right, there existed a marvelous place known as the Clockwork Kingdom. This kingdom was an extraordinary land where every object, from the smallest pebble to the grandest castle, was a marvel of mechanical wonder. The streets were lined with winding gears and spinning cogs, and the skies were filled with fantastical flying machines. At the heart of this kingdom stood the Grand Clock Tower, a majestic structure that kept time for the entire realm. The clock tower was not just a timekeeper but also a symbol of harmony and balance. Its clockwork mechanisms were powered by a magical gemstone known as the Heart of Time, a radiant crystal that glowed with a golden light. The ruler of the Clockwork Kingdom was King Orion, a wise and benevolent monarch who deeply cared for his people and their mechanical marvels. His most trusted advisor was a brilliant inventor named Elara, who was known for her ingenuity and kindness. One fateful day, a dark shadow fell over the kingdom. The Heart of Time, which had always glowed with a steady, warm light, began to flicker and dim. The clockwork mechanisms that powered the kingdom's wonders began to malfunction, and the once thriving land started to fall into disarray. King Orion and Elara were deeply concerned. Without the Heart of Time, the kingdom's balance would be disrupted, and its mechanical marvels would fall into chaos. Determined to save their beloved land, Elara set out on a quest to restore the Heart of Time and bring back the kingdom's harmony. Elara's journey took her to the farthest corners of the Clockwork Kingdom, where she encountered a variety of mechanical beings. Her first challenge was the Forest of Gears, a dense woodland where the trees were made of interlocking gears and springs. In the heart of the forest, Elara met a wise old owl named Cogsworth. To find the Heart of Time, Cogsworth hooted, "You must seek the guidance of the Clockwork Sage, who resides in the winding cavern. But beware, the path is fraught with trials that will test your resolve." Ilara thanked Cogsworth and ventured towards the winding cavern. The path was indeed challenging, filled with labyrinthine tunnels and shifting gears. Ilara had to solve intricate puzzles and navigate through mechanical traps. Her determination and cleverness helped her overcome each obstacle. Eventually, Ilara reached the winding cavern, where she found the Clockwork Sage, a mystical figure with a robe of shimmering cogs and a staff topped with a glowing crystal. The sage was deep in meditation, and Ilara waited patiently until he awoke. "Welcome, seeker of balance," the Clockwork Sage said, his voice echoing with a harmonious tone. "To restore the Heart of Time, you must retrieve the missing fragments of its power, which have been scattered across the kingdom." The sage explained that the fragments were hidden in 3 locations: the Crystalline Caverns, the Skyward Spire, and the Eternal Library. Each location held a piece of the heart's power and was guarded by a unique challenge. The first fragment, the Crystalline Caverns. Ilara journeyed to the Crystalline Caverns, a breathtaking underground world of glistening crystals and shimmering pools. Here, she faced the challenge of the Prism Guardian, a giant crystal golem that could only be appeased by solving a series of light-based puzzles. Ilara used her knowledge of reflections and angles to navigate through the labyrinth of crystals and secure the first fragment. The second fragment, the Skyward Spire. Next, Ilara ascended to the Skyward Spire, a towering structure that floated among the clouds. The spire was home to a fleet of mechanical birds that guarded the second fragment. To retrieve it, Ilara had to engage in a delicate aerial ballet with the birds, using her skills to synchronize with their flight patterns and earn their trust. The third fragment, the Eternal Library. The final location was the Eternal Library, a vast repository of knowledge filled with ancient scrolls and enchanted books. The library was protected by a series of riddles and enchanted mechanisms. Ilara spent hours deciphering ancient texts and solving intricate puzzles to find the last fragment hidden within a book of wisdom. With all 3 fragments in hand, Ilara returned to the Grand Clock Tower. The final challenge awaited her. She had to reassemble the Heart of Time and restore its magic to its rightful place. The process was delicate, requiring precise alignment and careful placement of the fragments. As Ilara worked, King Orion and the citizens of the Clockwork Kingdom gathered, hopeful and anxious. With one final turn of a key and a burst of golden light, the Heart of Time was restored. The clockwork mechanisms whirred back to life, and the kingdom's harmony was renewed. The Heart of Time glowed with a brilliant, steady light, and the kingdom was filled with joy and celebration. The mechanical marvels were once again in perfect balance, and the land flourished. Ilara was celebrated as a hero, and the Clockwork Sage appeared to bless her with a special gift, a mechanical companion named Ticker. A tiny, clockwork creature that would always be by her side. King Orion thanked Ilara for her bravery and wisdom, and the kingdom thrived under the renewed light of the Heart of Time. And so, the Clockwork Kingdom continued to spin its wondrous gears and mechanisms, a land of harmony and magic, forever guided by the brilliance of the Heart of Time and the courage of a young inventor. In the heart of the land of Eldoria, there was a bustling village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers. The village was known for its colorful markets, lively festivals, and its most treasured possession, an ancient compass with magical powers. This compass was said to be able to find anything that was truly lost, guiding its bearer through the darkest forests and across the highest mountains. The compass belonged to a young and brave girl named Lyra. Lyra was known throughout the village for her kindness and curiosity. She lived with her grandmother, who had been the village's storyteller and guardian of the compass before passing it on to Lyra. The compass had always been Lyra's favorite possession, and she would often hold it close, marveling at its intricate design and the way its needle seemed to shimmer with a soft, golden light. One sunny morning, as Lyra was helping her grandmother with the daily chores, a mysterious stranger arrived in the village. The stranger, cloaked in a dark, hooded robe, was in search of something that had been lost for a long time. He spoke in hushed tones and carried an air of urgency. The village elders gathered to discuss his request, and soon they turned to Lyra, knowing she had the enchanted compass. The stranger revealed that he was a scholar from the distant kingdom of Arander, which had vanished many years ago under mysterious circumstances. Legend spoke of Earander as a land of incredible beauty and magic, but it had disappeared from maps and memory alike. The scholar believed that the Lost Kingdom held a great treasure, one that could bring prosperity and peace to all of Eldoria if found. Lyra, feeling a deep sense of responsibility in adventure, agreed to help the scholar. She took the enchanted compass and set out with him on a journey to find the Lost Kingdom of Earander. Their path would take them through the vast and mysterious Emerald Forest, across the stormy peaks, and over the shadowy moorlands. As Lyra and the scholar ventured into the Emerald Forest, they were greeted by a forest spirit named Ira. Ira was a graceful being with glowing eyes and wings like leaves. She warned them that the forest was enchanted and that they would need to solve a series of riddles to proceed safely. The first riddle was, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Lyra thought for a moment and answered, "An echo." Ira smiled and allowed them to pass. The forest paths twisted and turned, but with the compass's guidance and Ira's help, they navigated through safely. Next, they reached the stormy peaks, where fierce winds and lightning made the journey treacherous. Here, they encountered a wise old dragon named Thorn, who guarded the entrance to the peaks. Thorn demanded that they prove their bravery and kindness before he would let them through. Lyra showed her bravery by standing firm against the storm and her kindness by helping a small creature in need, an injured phoenix. The phoenix, grateful for her help, offered Lyra a magical feather that would protect them from the storms. With the feather's protection, they crossed the peaks and reached the shadowy moorlands. The moorlands were shrouded in mist and darkness, and it was here that they faced their greatest challenge. The compass's needle spun wildly, unable to find its direction. The air was thick with enchantments that distorted reality. In the heart of the moorlands, they found an ancient stone altar. The scholar revealed that this altar was a key to finding Earander, but it required a specific crystal to activate. They had learned of this crystal during their journey but had not yet discovered its location. Lyra, using her intuition and the clues she had gathered, realized that the crystal must be hidden within the enchanted compass itself. She carefully opened the compass and found a hidden compartment containing the crystal. Placing the crystal on the altar, Lyra and the scholar watched as the ground began to tremble, and a pathway of light emerged from the moorlands. Following the path, they arrived at the entrance to the Lost Kingdom of Earander. The kingdom was breathtaking, a place of magnificent palaces, lush gardens, and rivers of sparkling water. The magic of Earander had been preserved in a time bubble, hidden from the world to protect its treasures. The people of Earander welcomed Lyra and the scholar, grateful for their return. The kingdom's ruler, Queen Isolde, thanked Lyra for her bravery and compassion. She revealed that the true treasure of Earander was not gold or jewels, but the knowledge and wisdom of its people. With their guidance, the kingdom shared its magical knowledge with Eldoria, bringing prosperity and peace to the land. Lyra and the scholar returned to their village as heroes, and the enchanted compass was placed in the village's Hall of Honor, a symbol of the journey that saved a lost kingdom and strengthened the bonds between lands. From that day on, Eldoria thrived with the magic and wisdom of Earander. Lyra continued to explore new adventures, knowing that even the most mysterious of journeys could lead to wonderful discoveries. And so, the tale of Lyra and the Lost Kingdom of Earander became a cherished story, reminding all who heard it that courage, kindness, and a touch of magic could uncover even the most hidden treasures. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the moon was always full and bright, there was a small village nestled in the heart of the Whispering Forest. This village was known as Luminera, famous for its dazzling moonlit nights and the magical lanterns that floated through the sky, carrying wishes and dreams to the stars. The lanterns were a gift from the moon goddess, Selene, who had blessed the villagers with the ability to send their wishes into the night. Each lantern was a delicate, glowing orb that shimmered with moonlight. The villagers believed that as long as the lanterns flew high, the moon would remain bright and the village would be safe from darkness. Among the villagers was a young girl named Mira. She loved everything about the lanterns and often spent hours preparing them, decorating them with intricate designs and writing wishes on their delicate surfaces. Myra's greatest wish was to discover the source of the magical light that kept their lanterns glowing so beautifully. Her curiosity had always been strong, and she dreamt of meeting the moon goddess herself. One evening, as the village prepared for the annual moon festival, a dark cloud passed over the moon. The sky darkened, and the lanterns, which usually floated with ease, began to flicker and falter. The villagers were alarmed. Without the moon's light, the village would be plunged into darkness. Desperate to restore the light, Mira decided to venture into the forest, hoping to find a way to bring back the moon's glow. She had heard ancient tales of a hidden glade where the moon goddess would come down to earth to restore the light if ever it was lost. Mira packed a small bag with essentials, a lantern she had made herself, a map of the Whispering Forest, and a silver locket her grandmother had given her for luck. With a deep breath, she set off into the forest, guided only by the faint glow of her lantern and the soft light of the moon that still peeked through the clouds. The forest was alive with sounds, rustling leaves, the call of distant owls, and the whispering wind. Mira walked for hours, following the winding paths marked on her map. As the night grew darker, her lantern's light dimmed, and she felt the weight of her task pressing on her shoulders. But Mira was determined. She knew she had to find the glade to save her village. Suddenly, the forest opened up to reveal a clearing bathed in soft, silver light. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient stone pedestal with a shimmering, empty lantern perched on top. Mira approached cautiously, her heart racing with hope. "Welcome, Mira," a gentle voice echoed through the clearing. Mira turned to see a figure bathed in moonlight, Selene, the moon goddess herself. Her presence was both serene and powerful, her long hair flowing like the light of the moon. "I'm here to restore the light," Mira said, her voice trembling slightly. "The lanterns are fading, and the village is in darkness." Selene smiled warmly. "You have a brave heart, Mira. The lanterns draw their light from the very essence of the moon. But tonight, the light has been dimmed by a shadow that has stolen the moon's radiance. Only someone pure of heart can help us find it and restore the balance." The moon goddess then handed Mira the empty lantern from the pedestal. "This lantern holds the essence of the moon. You must fill it with moonlight by finding the lost piece of the moon that was taken by the shadow." Mira nodded, taking the lantern with care. "How will I find it?" Selene pointed toward a distant, dark part of the forest. "Follow the path of the stars. They will guide you to where the shadow hides." With the lantern in hand, Mira ventured toward the dark forest, where the stars above seemed to flicker more brightly. As she walked, she noticed the stars forming a trail, guiding her deeper into the shadows. The path was filled with tangled vines and eerie sounds, but Mira followed the starry trail with unwavering determination. At last, she reached a hidden cave, its entrance guarded by dark, swirling mist. Mira took a deep breath and stepped inside. The cave was dark, but the stars above continued to guide her, leading her to a small, glowing orb trapped in a web of shadows. The orb was pulsating with a faint, silver light, the very essence of the moon. As Mira approached, the shadows grew thicker, trying to keep the orb from her reach. But Mira's lantern, glowing softly with hope and courage, shone brighter as she held it up. The light from the lantern began to push back the shadows, illuminating the cave. With a final burst of determination, Mira reached out and touched the glowing orb. The shadows recoiled, and the orb floated gently into her hands. The moment she grasped it, the cave filled with a radiant, moonlit glow. The essence of the moon was restored to the lantern. Mira hurried back to the clearing, where Selene waited. As she approached, she placed the orb into the empty lantern. The lantern glowed with a brilliant light, and the clearing was bathed in a warm, silver radiance. Selene smiled with approval. "You have restored the light, Mira. The moon's radiance is returned, and the lanterns will once again shine brightly for your village." The moon goddess waved her hand, and a soft breeze carried the light of the lantern up into the sky. The clouds parted, and the moon shone brightly once more. The lanterns in Luminara began to glow, floating gracefully into the night sky, carrying the villagers' wishes and dreams. Mira returned to her village, greeted with cheers and celebration. The moonlit night was more beautiful than ever, and the lanterns shone with renewed brilliance. Myra's bravery and pure heart had saved the village, and she had fulfilled her greatest wish. She had met the moon goddess and restored the light. From that night on, Myra was known not just as a village girl, but as the keeper of the lanterns, a symbol of hope and courage for all who looked up at the moonlit sky. And so, the village of Luminera continued to thrive under the gentle glow of the moon, its lanterns floating high, guided by the light of a brave heart. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between towering mountains in a vast, sparkling lake, there lived a young boy named Tomas. Tomas was known for his curiosity and kindness, but what made him most unique was his fascination with the night sky. Every evening, as the village settled into its routine of quiet, Tomas would sneak out to gaze at the moon, wondering about the stories hidden in its light. One night, as Tomas sat on a hill watching the moon's reflection in the lake, he noticed something extraordinary, a silver glow shining from a path that seemed to lead into the forest. The path wasn't there before, and it shimmered with a soft, enchanting light. His heart raced with excitement. Could this be the beginning of an adventure? Without hesitation, Tomas followed the glowing trail, deep into the forest. The air around him grew cooler, but the light from the path kept him warm and comforted. Soon, he reached a clearing where the trees formed a perfect circle, and in the center was a magical garden. The flowers bloomed in shades of silver, blue, and lavender, glowing softly as if touched by moonlight. At the heart of the garden stood a delicate fountain made of crystal, with water that shimmered like liquid stardust. And next to the fountain was a figure, an elderly woman, draped in a cloak made of stars. Her eyes were gentle, yet they sparkled with an ancient wisdom. "Welcome, young one," the woman said, her voice like the soft rustle of leaves in the wind. "I am Luna, keeper of the moonlit garden." Tomas bowed respectfully. "I've never seen anything like this place. Is it real, or am I dreaming?" Luna smiled. "This garden exists between the realms of dream and reality. Few find their way here, but those who do are destined for a purpose. You, Tomas, have been chosen to help restore the balance of the stars." "The balance of the stars?" Tomas asked, intrigued. Luna nodded. "For centuries, the stars have watched over the world, guiding travelers and protecting the harmony of the land. But something has gone wrong. One of the brightest stars, Solaria, has dimmed. Without her light, the balance between night and day is fading, and the world may soon fall into eternal shadow." Tomas felt a shiver run down his spine. "What can I do to help?" Luna gestured toward the fountain. "You must find 3 sacred moonstone petals from the flowers that bloom in this garden. Each petal represents a different quality: courage, kindness, and wisdom. Only by offering these petals to Solaria can her light be restored. But the journey will not be easy." With determination in his heart, Tomas agreed to the quest. Luna gave him a small silver pouch to carry the moonstone petals. "Follow your heart, Tomas, and remember, only those who believe in the power of light can complete this journey." Tomas thanked Luna and set off to gather the moonstone petals. The first petal, representing courage, was hidden in the Cave of Shadows, where the bravest had faltered. Tomas arrived at the cave, his heart pounding with fear. Inside, the darkness was thick and oppressive, and strange, eerie sounds echoed from deep within. But Tomas knew he couldn't give up. He took a deep breath, stepped into the cave, and felt his way through the darkness. With each step, his fear began to fade, replaced by the warmth of the silver path still glowing faintly beneath his feet. As he ventured deeper, he found the first moonstone petal lying on a glowing pedestal. He placed it in the silver pouch and felt a surge of courage wash over him. Next, Tomas journeyed to the enchanted river, where the second petal, representing kindness, awaited. When he arrived, he saw that the river had been blocked by a fallen tree, and the fish and creatures that lived in the water were struggling to survive. Tomas, seeing their distress, worked tirelessly to clear the river. He carefully moved the tree and watched as the water began to flow freely once more. Grateful for his kindness, the creatures of the river presented him with the second moonstone petal. The final petal, representing wisdom, was hidden in the starry maze, a labyrinth filled with twisting paths and illusions. Many had entered the maze, but few had ever found their way out. As Tomas stepped inside, he noticed that each turn seemed to lead him in circles. But he remembered Luna's advice, follow your heart. Instead of relying on his eyes, he trusted his instincts and let his heart guide him through the maze. After what felt like hours, Tomas reached the center, where the third moonstone petal rested beneath a silver tree. He added it to his pouch, feeling a deep sense of clarity and peace. With all three petals in hand, Tomas returned to the moonlit garden, where Luna awaited him by the fountain. The night sky above seemed darker than before, as if Solaria's light had nearly vanished. You have done well, Tomas, Luna said, her eyes filled with pride. Now, place the petals in the fountain, and Solaria's light will be restored. Tomas carefully placed the three glowing petals into the crystal fountain. As they touched the shimmering water, a brilliant light shot into the sky, weaving through the stars until it reached Solaria. The dim star flared back to life, shining brighter than ever before. The night sky sparkled with renewed energy, and the balance between light and darkness was restored. The garden bloomed in full splendor, and Luna's cloak shimmered with gratitude. You have saved the world from eternal shadow, Tomas. The stars will forever remember your courage, kindness, and wisdom. Tomas smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Thank you, Luna. I only did what I believed was right. With the balance restored, Luna gifted Tomas a small silver pendant shaped like a star. Wear this, and the light of the stars will always guide you. Tomas returned to his village, the pendant shining softly against his chest. He knew that while his adventure had ended, the stars would always watch over him, and the moonlit garden would forever remain a place of magic and wonder in his heart. And from that day forward, the villagers spoke of Tomas, the boy who restored the light of the stars and protected the world from the shadows. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling emerald hills and a vast, sparkling sea, there was a small, charming village known for its friendly people and their beautiful crafts. This village was unique because it was built right on the edge of the sea, where the waves kissed the shore and the salt air carried tales of adventure. In this village lived a young girl named Nia. Nia was known far and wide for her courage and curiosity. She had a special bond with the ocean, often spending her days exploring the tide pools and collecting seashells. But what fascinated her most were the stories about a magical artifact hidden deep beneath the sea, the Starfish Crown. Legend had it that the Starfish Crown was a wondrous treasure, said to be made of pure starlight and capable of granting a single, noble wish. Many had sought it, but none had succeeded. The crown was guarded by the mystical Sea Queen, a gentle yet formidable ruler of the underwater realm. One bright morning, Nia stood on the shore, gazing out at the shimmering sea. She had made up her mind to find the Starfish Crown and use it to wish for her village's prosperity. With a heart full of determination, she set out on a small boat she had built with her father's help. Nia sailed through the crystal waters, guided by the stories and maps she had gathered. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the waves, she reached a hidden cove. There, the water glowed with an ethereal light, signaling the entrance to the underwater realm. With a deep breath, Nia dove into the water. To her amazement, she found herself surrounded by a world of wonder. Brightly colored fish darted past, and coral reefs sparkled like precious gems. She followed a trail of glowing sea anemones until she arrived at the grand palace of the Sea Queen. The palace was an awe-inspiring sight, built from iridescent shells and pearls, and bathed in a soft, azure light. Nia was greeted by the Sea Queen herself, a majestic figure with flowing seaweed hair and eyes that shone like moonlit tides. "Welcome, brave Nia," the Sea Queen said in a voice like the soft crash of waves. "I have been expecting you. What brings you to my realm?" Nia took a deep breath and spoke with heartfelt sincerity. "Your Majesty, I seek the Starfish Crown to make a wish for my village. We are in need of prosperity and hope." The Sea Queen studied Nia with a thoughtful expression. the starfish crown is not given lightly. It is a symbol of pure intention and selflessness. Before you may receive it, you must prove your heart's worth. The Sea Queen then set forth 3 tasks for Nia. 1. Restore the coral grove. A once vibrant coral grove had been damaged by a storm. Nia needed to help heal the corals and bring back their color and life. 2. Guide the lost sea turtles. A group of baby sea turtles had lost their way. Nia had to help them find their way back to the ocean currents where they belonged. 3. Sing the song of the sea. Nia had to sing a song that could calm the tempestuous waters and bring peace to the ocean's depths. Determined, Nia set to work. For the first task, she carefully replanted damaged corals, using gentle hands and soft words to encourage their recovery. For the second, she guided the baby sea turtles by swimming alongside them, ensuring they followed the right path through the currents. The final task was the most challenging. As she stood on a cliff overlooking the vast ocean, Nia sang with all her heart, her voice rising and falling like the waves. She sang of love, courage, and the deep bond between the sea and the land. Her song resonated with the very essence of the ocean, soothing its restlessness. The Sea Queen watched in admiration as the waters calmed and the ocean's beauty was restored. With a nod of approval, she presented Nia with the starfish crown, which sparkled with the light of countless stars. "You have proven your heart's worth, Nia," the Sea Queen said. "The starfish crown is yours. Use it wisely." Nia thanked the Sea Queen and returned to her village with the crown. As she held it up and made her wish, a soft glow enveloped the village. Fields flourished, fish swam abundantly in the nearby waters, and the villagers found joy and prosperity in their lives. Nia's courage and selflessness had brought the magic of the starfish crown to her people, and the village thrived like never before. From then on, Nia was celebrated not just as a brave adventurer but as a symbol of hope and kindness. And so, in a kingdom where the sea met the land, the story of Nia and the starfish crown became a cherished tale, reminding everyone that the truest magic lies in a heart that seeks to help others. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake, lived a young girl named Lila. Lila had the most beautiful garden in the entire village. Her garden was filled with flowers of every color imaginable, roses as red as rubies, tulips as yellow as the sun, and violets as deep as the ocean. People came from far and wide to see her garden, amazed by its beauty and the sweet fragrance that filled the air. Lila's secret was simple: she loved her garden with all her heart. She spent hours each day tending to her flowers, talking to them as if they were her friends, and singing sweet melodies that made them bloom even brighter. But there was one part of her garden that was different. In the center, there was a small patch of bare earth, surrounded by a ring of stones. No matter how much Lila tried, nothing would grow there. One day, as Lila was working in her garden, an old woman appeared at the gate. She was dressed in rags, and her hair was as white as snow. Her eyes sparkled with a mysterious light. "Good day, dear child," the old woman said with a kind smile. "I have traveled far and wide, and I am tired. May I rest in your beautiful garden?" Lila, always kind and generous, welcomed the old woman into her garden. She offered her a seat in the shade and brought her cool water to drink. As the old woman rested, she watched Lila work. "You have a gift, my child," she said. "Your garden is the most beautiful I have ever seen. But tell me, why is that patch of earth empty?" Lila sighed and looked at the bare spot. "I don't know," she said. "I have tried everything, but nothing will grow there. It's as if the earth has lost its magic." The old woman nodded thoughtfully. "Perhaps it's not the earth that needs magic, but the one who tends to it," she said mysteriously. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a tiny, glowing seed. It shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow, casting a soft light around it. "This is a seed from the enchanted garden of Lumina," the old woman explained. "It is a place where magic still lives, hidden from the eyes of the world. Plant this seed in the center of your garden, and you will see wonders beyond your imagination. But remember, magic requires more than just planting. It needs love, kindness, and a pure heart." Lila took the seed, feeling its warmth in her hand. She thanked the old woman, who smiled and quietly slipped away, disappearing down the road. That evening, as the sun set and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Lila went to the center of her garden. She knelt on the ground, dug a small hole, and carefully planted the glowing seed. She covered it with earth and gently patted it down. Then, she stood and began to sing a lullaby, a sweet, soothing song her mother had sung to her when she was a child. As Lila sang, something incredible happened. The seed began to glow brighter and brighter. A soft light spread from the ground, illuminating the garden with a magical glow. The bare patch of earth started to transform. Tiny shoots sprouted from the soil, growing taller and stronger with each note of Lila's song. Within moments, a magnificent tree stood in the center of the garden. Its branches were covered in blossoms that sparkled like stars, and its leaves shimmered with a golden hue. The tree's beauty was beyond words. It was unlike anything Lila had ever seen. But as she gazed at the tree, she noticed something even more wonderful. The tree's blossoms began to drift down like snowflakes, and wherever they touched the ground, flowers bloomed, flowers of every color, size, and shape. They spread across the garden, filling the air with the sweetest fragrance. The garden was more vibrant and alive than ever before. News of Lila's magical garden spread quickly. People from distant lands came to see the wonder for themselves. They marveled at the glowing tree and the endless sea of flowers that surrounded it. They spoke of the girl with the pure heart who had brought magic back to the land. Lila welcomed everyone with open arms, sharing her garden's beauty and joy. One day, a young boy from the village came to see Lila's garden. His name was Finn, and he had always been quiet and shy. He had never seen anything as beautiful as Lila's garden. As he stood there, watching the petals float down like snow, a single tear rolled down his cheek. Lila noticed him and approached. "Why are you sad?" she asked gently. Finn looked up at Lila, his eyes filled with sadness. "I am not sad," he said softly. "I am just overwhelmed. I have never seen such beauty. I have always felt alone and different, but here, I feel like I belong." Lila smiled and placed a hand on his shoulder. "You are not alone, Finn," she said. "This garden is for everyone. Its magic is not just in the flowers and the tree, but in the joy it brings to others. You are always welcome here." From that day on, Finn visited Lila's garden every day. He helped her tend to the flowers, sang songs with her, and together they made the garden even more beautiful. The tree in the center grew taller, its branches spreading wide, offering shade and comfort to all who came. The garden became a place of peace, where people from all walks of life could come and find solace, joy, and a sense of belonging. Years passed, and Lila's garden flourished. The village prospered, and the people were happy. The enchanted garden of Lumina, hidden in Lila's small garden, became a symbol of hope and kindness. It reminded everyone that true magic comes from a loving heart, a generous spirit, and the willingness to share joy with others. And so, the garden lived on, a timeless reminder that love and kindness are the seeds from which the most beautiful flowers grow, and that the magic of the heart can transform even the most barren place into a paradise. Lila and Finn grew up, but they never forgot the lessons of the garden. They tended to it together, sharing its beauty and magic with everyone. And in the heart of their garden, under the shade of the glowing tree, the magic of Lumina lived on, forever spreading light and joy to all. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling hills kissed the sky and rivers sparkled like liquid diamonds, there was a peaceful village called Eldoria. Eldoria was known for its stunning night skies, where stars danced across the heavens in a dazzling display. The villagers cherished the stars, believing they were the guardians of their dreams and wishes. Among the villagers was a curious young girl named Aliana. She had a special connection with the night sky, often spending her evenings gazing up at the stars and wondering about the stories they held. Her grandmother, who was the village storyteller, often told her tales of an ancient legend, the Starlight Bridge, a magical bridge that connected the world to the realm of the stars. According to the legend, this bridge could only be seen when the stars aligned perfectly during a rare celestial event called the Great Convergence. One crisp autumn evening, as Eliana admired the night sky, she noticed that the stars seemed to shimmer with an unusual intensity. The stars twinkled in patterns she had never seen before. Remembering the tales of the Great Convergence, she realized that the celestial event was happening that very night. Excitedly, Eliana rushed to the highest hill in Eldoria, where the stars were the brightest. As the night deepened, the sky above began to shift and shimmer. To her amazement, a faint, glowing bridge began to appear, stretching across the sky from the horizon to the distant stars. Eliana felt a sense of awe and determination. She took a deep breath and began to climb the luminous steps of the Starlight Bridge. As she ascended, she felt a gentle breeze that seemed to guide her steps. The bridge was made of pure stardust and was soft beneath her feet, twinkling with every step she took. The journey was enchanting. The bridge led Eliana through a world of breathtaking beauty. She passed through clouds that sparkled like cotton candy, crossed over shimmering rivers of starlight, and wandered through fields of glowing flowers. The air was filled with a melodic hum that seemed to resonate with the rhythm of the universe. After what felt like both an eternity and a heartbeat, Eliana reached the end of the Starlight Bridge and found herself in a magnificent realm, the Celestial Kingdom. The kingdom was a place of wonders, with castles made of crystal, gardens of eternal twilight, and celestial beings who floated gracefully among the stars. Eliana was greeted by the Celestial Queen, a regal figure with a flowing gown that shimmered like the night sky. "Welcome, Eliana," the queen said with a voice as soothing as moonlight. "You have traveled far and braved the journey across the Starlight Bridge. Our realm has been awaiting someone with a heart as pure as yours." The queen explained that the Celestial Kingdom was facing a great challenge. The Starheart, a powerful crystal that radiated the light and magic of the stars, had lost its glow. Without the Starheart's brilliance, the kingdom's magic would fade, and the connection between the realms would be severed. Eliana listened intently. "How can I help?" she asked. The queen handed Eliana a small, glowing compass. "This compass will guide you to the heart of the nebula, where the Starheart is hidden. But be warned, the journey is fraught with trials. Only someone with true courage and a compassionate heart can restore the Starheart's light." With the compass in hand, Eliana set out on her quest. The heart of the nebula was located in a distant part of the Celestial Kingdom, beyond the Veil of Shadows, a place where darkness and light intertwined. Eliana encountered several challenges along the way, including a labyrinth of shimmering fog and a tempest of cosmic winds. Each time, Eliana used her courage, kindness, and quick thinking to overcome the obstacles. She helped a lost star creature find its way back to its family, solved a riddle given by a wise old comet, and calmed a storm of shooting stars with a soothing melody. Finally, she reached the heart of the nebula, a grand, ancient chamber where the Starheart lay dim and cold. Eliana approached the crystal and placed her hands on its surface. She thought of her village, her grandmother, and the wonder of the stars. With a heartfelt wish, she whispered a prayer for the magic of the Celestial Kingdom to be restored. The Starheart began to glow with a brilliant light, filling the chamber with warmth and radiance. The light spread throughout the Celestial Kingdom, restoring its beauty and magic. The queen and the celestial beings rejoiced, and the Starlight Bridge shimmered more brightly than ever. "You have done a great service to our realm, Eliana," the queen said, her eyes filled with gratitude. "As a token of our thanks, we gift you a starstone. This gem will allow you to summon the Starlight Bridge whenever you wish to visit our world." With the starstone in hand, Eliana returned to Eldoria, her heart brimming with joy. The villagers marveled at her story, and the stars seemed to shine even more brightly in the sky. From that day on, Eliana often visited the Celestial Kingdom, her connection with the stars growing ever stronger. She shared her tales of adventure and magic with the villagers, inspiring them to look up at the night sky with wonder and dreams of their own. And so, the bond between Eldoria and the Celestial Kingdom remained strong, a reminder of the magic that exists when we follow our hearts and believe in the wonder of the stars. In a tranquil village nestled at the edge of a mystical forest, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Elara. The village was known for its serenity and the gentle glow of lanterns that lit up the streets each night. These lanterns were not ordinary, they were said to be enchanted, holding the magic of the forest's fairies and lighting up with a warm, comforting glow. One evening, as the village prepared for the annual Lantern Festival, Elara noticed that her family's lantern, a beautiful silver piece with intricate patterns, had lost its glow. This was troubling, for the lanterns were not just decorations but were believed to protect the village from dark creatures lurking in the forest. Elara's grandmother, who was the village's keeper of stories and magic, told her, "The lanterns draw their light from a magical source deep within the forest. If a lantern loses its glow, it means that the source is in trouble. You must find the enchanted lantern, which holds the power to restore the magic." Determined to help, Elara set off into the forest with a small backpack, a sturdy lantern, and a heart full of courage. The forest was alive with whispering leaves and sparkling fireflies. Guided by the soft glow of her lantern, Elara ventured deeper into the woods. After walking for a while, Elara arrived at a clearing where a grand, ancient oak tree stood. This was the heart of the forest. As she approached, she noticed a tiny, glowing fairy named Leora perched on a low branch. "Welcome, brave traveler," Leora said with a twinkle in her eyes. "I know why you've come. The enchanted lantern is in the Forest of Shadows, but you must first pass 3 trials to reach it." Elara nodded, ready to face whatever came her way. The first trial took her to the River of Reflections. The river was known for showing visions of one's deepest fears. As Elara gazed into the water, she saw images of the village in darkness, her lantern failing, and creatures lurking. The vision was frightening, but Elara took a deep breath and reminded herself that her courage could overcome any fear. She stepped forward, her bravery dispelling the darkness in the reflections. The second trial led her to the Mountain of Echoes. Here, she faced the challenge of finding her way through a maze of echoing voices. The voices whispered doubts and fears, trying to confuse her. Elara closed her eyes and listened to her heart, trusting her instincts to guide her through the maze. After a challenging journey, she reached the mountain's peak where the echoes faded and a clear path appeared. For the third trial, Elara arrived at the Grove of Whispers. In this grove, she encountered a grumpy, old gnome named Bramble who guarded the entrance to the Forest of Shadows. Bramble was known for being difficult to please. To enter the Forest of Shadows, Bramble grumbled, "You must solve my riddle and show kindness. Only then will I let you pass." The riddle was, "I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no rooms, you can enter but not go outside, what am I?" Elara thought carefully and answered, "A piano." Bramble's face softened, and he nodded. "You have shown wisdom and kindness. The Forest of Shadows awaits you." With Bramble's blessing, Elara entered the Forest of Shadows. It was dark and foreboding, but Elara held her lantern high, and its light guided her through the gloom. At the heart of the forest, she found the enchanted lantern, a magnificent piece adorned with jewels and glowing softly. The lantern was surrounded by dark, swirling mist. Elara approached it cautiously, her heart full of hope. As she reached out to touch the enchanted lantern, she spoke softly, "I am here to restore the magic and bring light back to my village." The mist began to dissipate, and the enchanted lantern's glow grew stronger. With the lantern in hand, Elara retraced her steps back to her village. The forest seemed brighter, and the journey felt lighter with each step. When she returned to the village, the once dim lantern now glowed brightly, filling the streets with a warm, comforting light. The villagers gathered around, celebrating Elara's bravery in the return of the lantern's magic. The village was once again bathed in a soft, magical glow, and the dark creatures of the forest retreated, knowing their power had been diminished. Elara's bravery and kindness became a cherished story in the village, and she was celebrated as a hero. The enchanted lantern, now more vibrant than ever, hung proudly in the center of the village, a symbol of courage and hope. And so, every year during the Lantern Festival, the villagers would tell the story of Elara and the trials she faced, reminding everyone of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that lies within the heart. Under the soft light of the lanterns, Elara knew that the true magic was not just in the glowing lights but in the courage and kindness that guided her through her quest. The village of Luminera thrived, forever illuminated by the light of bravery and hope. In the heart of the tranquil village of Silverwood, nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, there was a hidden gem known only to the locals, the Whispering Lake. This lake, surrounded by lush trees and wildflowers, was famous for its soft, soothing whispers that told tales of old. The villagers believed that the lake held a great secret, but no one had ever fully discovered what it was. The lake was guarded by an old, wise woman named Elowen. She lived in a small cottage at the edge of the lake and was known for her deep connection with nature. Elowen's life was dedicated to preserving the secrets of the lake and ensuring its magic remained safe. It was said that she possessed a key that could unlock the lake's hidden wonders, but it was kept safe and known only to her. One day, a curious young boy named Finn arrived in Silverwood. Finn was known for his adventurous spirit and love for solving mysteries. He had heard tales of the Whispering Lake and decided to visit, hoping to uncover its secrets. When he arrived, he was captivated by the lake's beauty and the gentle whispers that seemed to speak directly to his heart. Finn met Elowen and, sensing his genuine curiosity and kind nature, she decided to share a part of the lake's magic with him. She told Finn about the 3 ancient tasks that needed to be completed to reveal the lake's deepest secret. "You have a brave heart, Finn," Elowen said. "If you wish to uncover the lake's secret, you must prove your worth by completing these tasks. Each task will test your courage, wisdom, and compassion." Finn eagerly accepted the challenge. Elowen handed him a small, ornate box. "This box contains a piece of the lake's magic. Use it wisely, and it will guide you through the tasks." Task 1, the Echoing Cave. The first task led Finn to the Echoing Cave, a cavern hidden behind a waterfall at the far end of the lake. The cave was known for its mysterious echoes, which could only be heard when the cave was perfectly still. To complete the task, Finn needed to bring Harmony back to the cave, which had been disturbed by a spell of discord. Inside the cave, Finn found a series of old musical instruments scattered around. To restore Harmony, he had to play a melody that would calm the echoes. Remembering the gentle tunes his grandmother used to play on her flute, Finn took out the flute he carried and began to play a soft, calming melody. The echoes in the cave gradually harmonized with his music, creating a soothing and peaceful resonance. The cave's magic was restored, and Finn felt a warm glow from the box in his hand. Task 2, the Enchanted Garden. The second task brought Finn to the Enchanted Garden, an overgrown and forgotten area filled with wilted plants and faded flowers. The garden had once been a place of beauty, but it had lost its magic over the years. To restore it, Finn needed to rekindle the garden's enchantment by tending to it with care and kindness. Finn discovered a set of magical seeds hidden beneath a large, ancient oak tree. He planted the seeds in the garden soil, carefully watering and nurturing them with a special mixture Elowen had given him. As he worked, he spoke to the plants and flowers, sharing stories of his village and the love he had for nature. Gradually, the garden began to bloom with vibrant colors, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of flowers once more. The box's light grew brighter, signaling that the task was complete. Task 3, the Heart of the Lake. The final task took Finn to the center of the Whispering Lake, where he needed to unlock the heart of the lake, a legendary gem said to hold the essence of the lake's magic. Elowen had told him that the gem was hidden in a submerged grotto, protected by a riddle only a true heart could solve. Finn used a small boat to reach the grotto, which was beneath the lake's surface. Inside the grotto, he found an ornate chest and a riddle inscribed on its lid. The riddle read, "I am not seen but always near, I whisper softly in your ear. To find the heart that lies below, trust your heart and let it show." Finn pondered the riddle and thought about his journey. He realized that the answer was not something he could see but something he felt, trust and love. He placed his hand on the chest and spoke from his heart, expressing his gratitude for the beauty and magic he had discovered. the chest's lid slowly opened, revealing the heart of the lake, a glowing gem that pulsed with a gentle, soothing light. With the heart of the lake uncovered, Finn returned to Alolan. She congratulated him on completing the tasks and thanked him for his bravery and kindness. The Whispering Lake's true magic was now revealed. It had the power to bring peace and harmony to all who visited it with a pure heart. Alolan shared the lake's magic with Finn, giving him a small vial of its essence. This will allow you to carry a part of the lake's magic with you, and it will guide you wherever you go. Finn returned to his village with a heart full of wonder and a deep sense of fulfillment. He shared the story of his adventure and the magic of the Whispering Lake with his friends and family, inspiring them to cherish and protect the beauty and magic in their own lives. And so, the tale of Finn and the Whispering Lake became a cherished story in Silverwood, a reminder that true magic lies in the courage, wisdom, and compassion found within each of us. The lake continued to whisper its tales to those who visited with open hearts, forever guarding its secrets and spreading its enchantment throughout the land. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom nestled between snow-capped mountains and shimmering lakes, there was a magical place known as the Crystal Garden. This garden was a realm of beauty and wonder, where every flower was a dazzling gem and the trees sparkled with 1,000 colors. The garden was said to be enchanted, protected by the Whispering Wind, a gentle spirit that carried messages and secrets through the air. In the nearby village of Willowbrook, there lived a young boy named Leo. Leo was known for his curiosity and kindness. His father, a humble gardener, taught him to love plants and nature. Despite their simple life, Leo often dreamt of visiting the Crystal Garden, believing that its magic could help his village thrive. One summer, a terrible drought struck Willowbrook, causing crops to wither and wells to dry up. The villagers grew worried as their supplies dwindled, and their hopes for a bountiful harvest faded. Leo, seeing the desperation in his people, decided that he must find the Crystal Garden and seek its magic to save his village. One evening, guided by the light of the stars and his own determination, Leo set off on his quest. He ventured through a dense forest known for its mystical creatures and ancient trees. As he walked, the trees seemed to whisper to him, guiding his path. He soon reached the edge of the forest and found himself standing before a vast, shimmering river. The river, known as the Mirror Stream, was renowned for its magical reflections. To cross, Leo had to face a challenge. The river's guardian, a majestic swan named Seraphina, awaited him. To pass, Seraphina said, "You must solve a riddle. Only then will the way be clear." Leo listened carefully as Seraphina asked, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have nobody, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Leo thought for a moment and then answered, "An echo." Seraphina's eyes sparkled with approval. "You have answered correctly. The way across the Mirror Stream is now open." The river's waters parted, revealing stepping stones that led Leo safely to the other side. He continued his journey and soon arrived at the entrance of the Crystal Garden. The garden was as magnificent as he had imagined, with flowers that gleamed like jewels and trees that shimmered with every color of the rainbow. In the center of the garden stood a grand crystal fountain, its waters flowing like liquid light. Leo approached the fountain and was greeted by the Whispering Wind, who appeared as a soft, shimmering breeze. "Welcome, Leo," the Whispering Wind said. "I have been waiting for you. To seek the magic of the garden, you must complete 3 tasks that will test your heart and spirit." Leo, filled with determination, agreed to the tasks. The Whispering Wind guided him to the first challenge, the Garden of Echoes. Here, Leo had to plant a special seed and nurture it with his kindness. The seed, once planted, would respond to the love and care it received. Leo gently planted the seed and spoke words of encouragement and hope. Each day, he visited the seed, watering it and tending to it with love. Soon, the seed grew into a magnificent flower that glowed with a brilliant light, illuminating the entire garden. For the second task, Leo was led to the enchanted glade, where a magical creature known as the Lumina butterfly awaited him. The butterfly's wings sparkled like stardust, and it held a delicate key. To earn the key, the Lumina butterfly said, "You must show compassion." There are creatures in the garden who are in need of your help. Assist them, and the key will be yours. Leo spent the day helping the creatures of the garden, nursing injured birds, calming restless animals, and tending to wilting plants. His genuine care and selflessness earned him the key from the Lumina butterfly. The final task took Leo to the heart of the garden, where a grand crystal gate stood. To unlock the gate, he had to use the key and reveal his true intentions. The gate would only open for those who sought the garden's magic with a pure heart. Leo inserted the key into the lock and spoke from his heart. I seek the garden's magic to help my village. My people are suffering from a drought, and I wish to bring them hope and renewal. The crystal gate slowly opened, revealing a hidden chamber filled with shimmering water and radiant crystals. In the center of the chamber was a large, glowing crystal that pulsed with life. The heartstone of the garden, the whispering wind said. This crystal holds the power to restore balance and bring prosperity. Take it to your village and let its magic flow. Leo carefully took the heartstone and made his way back to Willowbrook. As he approached the village, he saw the parched fields and weary faces of his fellow villagers. With the heartstone in hand, he placed it in the center of the village and released its magic. A brilliant light emanated from the heartstone, and the land began to transform. The fields became lush and green, the wells filled with clear, fresh water, and the village thrived once more. The villagers rejoiced, celebrating Leo's bravery and the return of their prosperity. The tale of Leo and the Crystal Garden became a beloved story in Willowbrook, a reminder of the power of kindness and the magic that lies in the heart of those who seek to make a difference. The Crystal Garden remained a place of wonder, its magic safeguarded by the whispering wind and the brave young boy who saved his village. In a peaceful valley surrounded by majestic mountains and lush forests, there was a small village named Willowbrook. This village was known for its bountiful orchards, which produced the most delicious and vibrant fruits in the land. But among these orchards, there was one that stood out, a magical grove known as the Enchanted Orchard. The Enchanted Orchard was said to be blessed by a benevolent fairy queen, and it was a place where the fruit had extraordinary powers. The trees bore fruits of all kinds, each imbued with magic. Some fruits could heal, others could bring good fortune, and a few could even grant a single wish. However, the orchard was shrouded in mystery, and its location was known only to a select few. In Willowbrook lived a kind-hearted girl named Elara. Elara was known for her generosity and her love for the village. Every day, she helped the villagers with their chores and took great care of the orchard trees that grew in her family's garden. Her parents had always told her stories about the enchanted orchard, and she often dreamed of visiting it. One autumn, a severe drought struck the valley. The river that nourished Willowbrook ran dry, and the once vibrant orchards began to wither. The villagers were deeply worried, as the drought threatened their livelihood. Elara, seeing the distress of her fellow villagers, decided she must do something to help. Remembering the tales of the enchanted orchard, Elara set out on a quest to find it and seek its magical help. Armed with a small satchel, a lantern, and a map her grandmother had given her, she ventured into the forest. The map was old and faded, but it marked a path through the heart of the woods, leading to the orchard. As Elara journeyed through the forest, she faced several challenges. The first was a dense thicket guarded by a wise old tortoise named Thorn. Thorn spoke in riddles and required Elara to solve them to pass through. Thorn's riddle was, I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Elara pondered for a moment and answered, a fire. Thorn nodded and allowed her to pass, opening a hidden path. Next, Elara reached a river with no bridge in sight. A graceful swan named Seraphina glided across the water and offered to help, but only if Elara could answer another riddle. Seraphina's riddle was, the more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I? Elara thought carefully and replied, footsteps. Seraphina flapped her wings, creating a bridge of shimmering light that allowed Elara to cross the river. Finally, Elara arrived at the edge of a magical glade. The entrance was blocked by an enchanted gate covered in vines. To open it, she had to show true courage and compassion. As Alara approached, she noticed a small, frightened deer caught in the vines. With gentle hands, she freed the deer and calmed it with her soothing voice. The gate creaked open, revealing the enchanted orchard in all its splendor. The orchard was breathtaking, with trees bearing luminous fruits that glowed with a soft, enchanting light. Alara made her way to the heart of the orchard, where a majestic tree stood with golden apples hanging from its branches. She approached the tree and gently picked one of the golden apples. As she held the apple, a shimmering fairy appeared before her. The fairy was the guardian of the orchard and spoke with a voice like tinkling bells. "Brave Alara, you have shown great kindness and courage. The magic of the enchanted orchard is yours to use." Alara explained the plight of her village and asked for help. The fairy granted her a wish: "May the magic of the enchanted orchard bring rain to your valley and restore life to your land." With the golden apple in hand, Alara made her way back to Willowbrook. As she approached the village, dark clouds began to gather overhead. Rain began to fall gently at first, then grew into a steady, nourishing downpour. The river started to flow once more, and the orchards and gardens of Willowbrook were revitalized. The villagers rejoiced as their land came back to life. Alara was hailed as a hero, and the magic of the enchanted orchard was celebrated as a symbol of hope and renewal. The orchard remained a cherished secret, known only to those who truly needed its magic. From that day on, Alara continued to care for the village with the same love and dedication. The enchanted orchard's magic became a reminder of the power of kindness, courage, and the beauty of helping others. And so, Willowbrook thrived in prosperity and harmony, its people forever grateful for the bravery of a young girl who ventured into the heart of the forest to save her home. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled at the base of a misty mountain, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This was not just any garden, it was a clockwork garden, where every flower and tree was a marvel of intricate gears and delicate mechanisms. The garden was said to be the creation of a brilliant inventor who had vanished many years ago, leaving behind only whispered legends. In this village lived a young girl named Amelia. Amelia was known for her inquisitive mind and a passion for fixing things. She often spent her time tinkering with old machines and clocks, dreaming of finding the clockwork garden and uncovering its secrets. One autumn morning, Amelia was exploring the village's attic when she stumbled upon a dusty, old journal. Its cover was embossed with golden gears and clock faces. Flipping through the pages, she discovered detailed sketches of the clockwork garden and a map leading to it. Excitedly, Amelia realized that this was her chance to discover the garden and learn its mysteries. Armed with the journal and the map, Amelia set out on her journey. She followed the map through the lush forest, over babbling brooks, and up winding paths until she reached a hidden gate covered in vines. The gate was adorned with intricate clockwork designs in a large, ornate keyhole. Amelia took a deep breath and examined the journal. There, she found a small, golden key tucked into a special compartment. The key fit perfectly into the gate's keyhole. With a turn, the gate creaked open, revealing the clockwork garden in all its splendor. The garden was a marvel of precision and beauty. Flowers with petals like tiny clock faces bloomed in radiant colors, and trees with twisting branches moved like the hands of a giant clock. Gentle humming filled the air as gears turned and springs clicked in harmonious rhythm. In the center of the garden stood a grand clock tower, its face shimmering with a magical light. Amelia was mesmerized by the sight and began exploring the garden, her eyes wide with wonder. She noticed that each plant seemed to be synchronized with the grand clock tower, and the whole garden operated like a perfectly tuned machine. As she wandered, Amelia discovered a small, rusted door at the base of the clock tower. It had a delicate gear mechanism that seemed to have been neglected for years. Using her skills, Amelia carefully cleaned and oiled the gears until they moved smoothly. With a satisfying click, the door opened, revealing a spiral staircase leading up to the tower's top. Climbing the stairs, Amelia reached the top and found a room filled with mechanical birds, their wings folded in rest. In the center of the room was an old, dusty workbench with blueprints and tools scattered across it. Amelia realized this must have been where the inventor had worked. As she examined the blueprints, she saw a drawing of a complex mechanism that seemed to control the garden's magic. It was clear that the Clockwork Garden had once been a place of wonder, but it had fallen into disrepair after the inventor's disappearance. Amelia knew what she had to do. She spent the next few days repairing and fine-tuning the mechanisms, using her knowledge and the blueprints as her guide. Slowly but surely, the garden began to come back to life. Flowers bloomed brighter, the trees swayed with renewed vigor, and the clock tower's face shone with a brilliant light. One evening, as Amelia put the finishing touches on her repairs, the garden's magic seemed to reach a crescendo. The mechanical birds awoke and began to sing a melodious tune, filling the garden with a beautiful symphony. Amelia felt a sense of accomplishment and joy as the garden's magic restored itself. As she was about to leave, a gentle, elderly man appeared before her. His eyes twinkled with gratitude, and he wore a suit adorned with gears and cogs. He introduced himself as the inventor, who had been in hiding, waiting for someone with the right heart and skill to restore his creation. "Thank you, Amelia," he said warmly. "You've not only restored the garden but also breathed new life into it. The magic of the garden is now yours to protect." With that, the inventor disappeared into the mist, leaving Amelia with a small, ornate key, the key to the garden's heart. She returned to her village, where she shared the story of her adventure and the garden's wonders. The Clockwork Garden became a place of inspiration and joy for the villagers. Amelia continued to visit, caring for the garden and ensuring its magic remained vibrant. Her story became a legend, a reminder that true magic often lies in the harmony of creativity, skill, and a kind heart. And so, the Clockwork Garden thrived, a beacon of wonder and enchantment, and Amelia lived happily ever after, always guided by the rhythms of the magical garden she had revived. And they all lived happily ever after. In the heart of the lush kingdom of Alolan, nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, lay the Enchanted Grove. This forest was unlike any other, with trees that whispered secrets and flowers that glowed softly at night. It was a place of magic and mystery, protected by a powerful enchantment that kept it hidden from the outside world. Within this magical grove lived a small but brave mouse named Pip. Pip was not like the other mice. While they were content with their simple lives, Pip dreamed of adventure and exploring the world beyond the grove. He often gazed longingly at the shimmering horizon, imagining what lay beyond the enchanted trees. One day, the peace of the Enchanted Grove was shattered by a troubling event. A dark cloud descended upon the grove, and the vibrant colors of the flowers began to fade. The magical creatures of the forest gathered in worry. The ancient oak tree, the heart of the grove, was no longer glowing with its usual light. Elder Thistle, the wise old fairy who served as the grove's guardian, called for a meeting. She explained that the enchantment protecting the grove was weakening because the grove's heart, a magical crystal hidden deep within the forest, had been stolen by a malevolent sorceress named Morgana. Without the heart, the grove would lose its magic and eventually wither away. Despite his small size, Pip's courage and determination stood out. He stepped forward and offered to retrieve the grove's heart. Elder Thistle and the other magical creatures were initially hesitant, but Pip's resolve and bravery convinced them that he was the right choice for this daunting task. Elder Thistle gave Pip a tiny silver lantern that would light his path and a magical acorn that, when thrown, would reveal hidden secrets. With these gifts, Pip set out on his quest. As Pip ventured into the heart of the Enchanted Grove, he encountered his first challenge, a sprawling thicket of thorny vines. The vines seemed to twist and writhe, blocking the path ahead. Pip remembered the magical acorn and threw it towards the thicket. The acorn glowed brightly and revealed a hidden path through the thorns. Pip followed the path and soon arrived at a shimmering river. The river's current was swift, and the only way across was a series of stepping stones that appeared and disappeared with the flow of the water. At the edge of the river stood a wise old turtle named Tobias. Tobias offered to help Pip cross the river but warned him that he must solve a riddle first. "I move without legs. I have a bed but never sleep. I can be big or small, fast or slow. What am I?" Pip thought carefully. He had learned many riddles in his adventures and remembered that the answer was a river. Tobias was pleased with Pip's answer and guided him across the river on his back. Once on the other side, Pip found himself in a misty glade. The air was thick with magic, and the ground was covered in glowing mushrooms. In the center of the glade stood a magnificent, ancient tree. Its trunk was hollow, and inside was a shimmering door guarded by a fierce-looking squirrel named Nutmeg. Nutmeg challenged Pip to a test of courage. To pass through this door, you must face your greatest fear. Inside, you will find an illusion that reflects your deepest dread. Overcome it, and the path will open. Pip, though trembling, stepped through the door. Inside, he faced a terrifying vision, a giant, shadowy version of himself. The shadow seemed to taunt and scare him. But Pip, with all his bravery, stood tall and confronted the shadow. He realized that the shadow was merely a reflection of his own fears, and by facing it head-on, he dispelled the illusion. The door opened, and Pip found himself in a grand chamber illuminated by the soft glow of the Grove's heart, which was trapped in a cage of dark magic. Morgana, the sorceress, was hovering nearby, her eyes gleaming with malice. "Ah, a brave little mouse," Morgana sneered. "You think you can defeat me and reclaim the heart? It is too late." Pip knew he had to be clever. Using the silver lantern, he cast a beam of light that revealed Morgana's weakness, a powerful amulet she wore that was the source of her dark magic. With quick thinking, Pip used the magical acorn to reveal a hidden spring beneath the cage. He threw the acorn into the spring, and it started to bubble and glow, breaking the dark magic around the cage. Morgana tried to stop him, but Pip's courage in the light from the lantern overwhelmed her. The amulet was shattered, and Morgana's dark magic dissipated. With a final burst of energy, Pip freed the Grove's heart from its cage. The heart's light filled the chamber, restoring its vibrant glow and banishing the darkness. Pip carefully carried the heart back to the enchanted grove, where the magical creatures greeted him with cheers and gratitude. Elder Thistle thanked Pip for his bravery and returned the grove's heart to its rightful place. The enchanted grove was restored to its former beauty, with its magic shining even brighter than before. Pip's adventure had not only saved the grove but also proven that even the smallest of heroes could achieve great things. As a reward, Pip was granted a special gift by the magical creatures, the ability to visit any part of the kingdom of Alolan whenever he wished, allowing him to continue his adventures and explore the world beyond the grove. From that day on, Pip became a legend in Alolan, known as the brave little mouse who saved the enchanted grove. His tale was told far and wide, inspiring others to find courage within themselves and believe that even the smallest among us can make a big difference. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where enchanted forests met shimmering lakes, there was a peaceful village named Everglow. Everglow was known for its enchanting beauty and the legend of the Starflower, a magical blossom that was said to bloom only once every century under the light of the full moon. The flower's petals were believed to hold the power to grant one heartfelt wish. The villagers of Everglow cherished the tale of the Starflower, hoping that one day someone would be able to find it and make a wish that would bring great joy to the land. However, despite numerous attempts, no one had ever been successful in finding the elusive bloom. The quest to discover it was said to be a journey of both heart and courage. In this village lived a humble fisherman named Leo. Leo was known for his kindness and willingness to help others. Despite his modest means, he shared whatever he had with those in need and always put others before himself. His greatest joy came from the simple beauty of the natural world around him. And he often spoke of his dream to bring peace and happiness to all of Everglow. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, casting a silver glow across the land, a sudden and mysterious drought struck Everglow. The lakes and rivers dried up, and the once green fields turned to dust. The villagers grew anxious as their crops withered and their lives were disrupted. Elder Maris, the village elder, called for a gathering and revealed that the drought was the result of an ancient enchantment gone awry. The only hope to restore balance was to find the Starflower and make a wish to lift the curse. Feeling a deep sense of responsibility and compassion, Leo volunteered to seek out the Starflower. Armed with a lantern, a map of the old forest, and his unwavering heart, he set out on his quest under the full moon's light. Leo's journey took him through 3 magical trials, each testing his resolve and kindness. The first trial was the trial of the Whispering Forest. The forest was dense and filled with magical creatures that spoke in riddles and illusions. Leo found himself lost among the trees, as whispers tried to lead him astray. Remembering his father's advice to trust his instincts, Leo followed the sound of a soft, soothing melody that led him to a hidden glade. There, a wise old fox named Phelan appeared. Phelan recognized Leo's sincerity and offered him a silver acorn, which would light the way through the next trial. The second trial was the trial of the Mirror Lake. Leo arrived at a lake so clear it mirrored the night sky perfectly. The lake was said to be enchanted, with reflections that could confuse or mislead. Leo used the silver acorn's light to pierce through the reflections and navigate the lake's edge. He encountered a beautiful swan trapped in a net. With gentle care, he freed the swan, who revealed herself to be an enchantress named Celine. Grateful for his kindness, she gifted Leo a vial of moon water, promising it would aid him in the final trial. The final trial was the trial of the moonlit glade. Leo entered a serene glade illuminated by the full moon's silvery light. At the center of the glade stood an ancient stone pedestal covered in glowing moss. On the pedestal lay a large, ornate key. However, the glade was guarded by a fearsome, shadowy beast. Leo knew that the key was crucial to finding the starflower, but he needed to confront the beast. Leo approached the beast with courage but also with empathy. He spoke softly, acknowledging the creature's fear and pain. Through his gentle words and calm presence, he discovered that the beast was under a spell, bound to guard the key out of loneliness and sorrow. With the moon water given by Celine, Leo broke the spell, freeing the beast from its torment. The beast transformed into a noble guardian and presented Leo with the key, revealing the entrance to the hidden chamber where the starflower awaited. Leo used the key to unlock a secret door in the glade. Inside, bathed in the moon's radiant light, was the starflower, a stunning blossom with petals that glowed like 1,000 stars. Leo approached the flower with reverence and made his wish, "I wish for the restoration of our land and the happiness of all the people of Everglow." The starflower's petals shimmered brightly, and its magic spread across the land. The drought was lifted, and the lakes and rivers began to flow once more. The fields turned lush and green, and the villagers rejoiced as their lives returned to normal. The curse was lifted, and Everglow flourished once again. Leo returned to the village as a hero, celebrated for his bravery and kindness. The tale of the starflower and Leo's selfless wish was passed down through generations, becoming a beloved story of hope, courage, and the power of a pure heart. And so, in the land of Everglow, where the lakes shimmered under the moonlight and the fields blossomed with life, the legend of the starflower lived on, a reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can bring about great change. The end. Once upon a time, in a realm where the night sky was always adorned with a tapestry of twinkling stars, there lay a hidden valley called Moonvale. Moonvale was a place of serene beauty, where luminous flowers glowed under the moonlight, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of night-blooming blossoms. At the heart of Moonvale stood a majestic silver tree known as the Moonstone Tree, whose branches bore shimmering fruits known as moonstones. These stones were said to hold magical melodies that could heal, bring peace, and reveal hidden truths. In the village of Larkspur, just beyond the borders of Moonvale, lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her extraordinary musical talent. Her voice could enchant the birds, and her harp could make the trees sway with joy.
Hey,
She often dreamed of visiting Moonvale and discovering the secrets of the Moonstone Tree. One night, a sudden and mysterious darkness began to spread across the land, casting shadows over the once bright village and causing crops to wilt. The villagers grew anxious, and whispers of a curse began to spread. Desperate to save her home and uncover the source of the darkness, Lyra decided to embark on a journey to Moonvale, believing that the Moonstone Tree held the key to restoring light and harmony. Under the light of the full moon, Lyra set off towards Moonvale. Her path was illuminated by the soft glow of fireflies and the distant twinkling of stars. As she approached the edge of Moonvale, she encountered a wise old fox named Fenwick, who guarded the entrance to the valley. "Welcome, brave traveler," Fenwick said. "To enter Moonvale and approach the Moonstone Tree, you must prove that you seek the light with a pure heart and noble intentions. You must first solve a riddle." Fenwick's riddle was, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lyra thought for a moment, then replied, "A joke." Fenwick's eyes sparkled with approval. "You have answered correctly.
Wow, you blew
The
his
path to
brains
Moonvale
out.
is open."
Nice.
As Lyra ventured deeper into the valley, she arrived at a crystal-clear lake known as the Mirror Lake. The surface of the lake reflected not just her image but the true essence of her heart. The guardian of the lake, a graceful swan named Celine, awaited her. To cross the Mirror Lake, Celine said, "You must show that your heart is as pure as the waters of the
Nice
lake.
headshot.
Share with me your deepest hope and the reason you seek the Moonstone Tree." Lyra gazed at her reflection in the lake and spoke with sincerity. "My village is shrouded in darkness, and I seek the Moonstone Tree to find the melody that can bring light and restore peace. I hope to heal my home and bring joy back to the hearts of my people." Celine nodded in understanding. "Your heart is true. The way across the lake is yours to follow."
That's how
Celine
you
waved
do
her
it.
wings, and stepping stones emerged from the lake, leading Lyra safely across. She continued her journey, guided by the shimmering light of the moonstones that lined her path. At last, Lyra reached the Moonstone Tree. Its silver branches glowed with an ethereal light, and the moonstones hanging from its limbs pulsed with soft,
Hey,
melodious
nice.
tunes.
He lost a level.
The tree's guardian, a celestial figure named Elara, appeared in a swirl of stardust. "Welcome, Lyra," Elara said with a voice like a gentle breeze. "To unlock the magic of the Moonstone Tree and restore the light, you must play a melody that resonates with the heart of the tree. Only then will the moonstones reveal their true power." Lyra took out her harp and began to play a beautiful, heartfelt melody. She played with all her love and hope, her music weaving through the air like a delicate thread of light. As the notes filled the air, the moonstones began to glow brighter, their melodies harmonizing with Lyra's music. Elara watched with approval as the darkness that had spread across the land began to recede, driven away by the light of the moonstones and the power of Lyra's melody. The Moonstone Tree shimmered with renewed brilliance, and its magic began to spread across the valley and beyond. With the Moonstone Tree restored, Lyra felt a surge of warmth and joy. She thanked Elara and made her way back to her village, carrying the essence of the moonstones with her. As she returned to Larkspur, she played the magical melody once more, and the darkness lifted from the land. The village was bathed in a soft, glowing light, and the crops began to flourish once again. The villagers rejoiced at the return of their prosperity and celebrated Lyra's bravery and musical gift. The tale of the melody of the moonstone became a cherished story in Larkspur, a reminder of the power of hope, music, and the light that can be found even in the darkest times. And so, the Moonstone Tree continued to stand at the heart of Moonvale, its melodies echoing through the night and reminding all who heard them of the magic that resides in the purest of hearts. Once upon a time, nestled in a secluded valley surrounded by misty mountains, there was a quaint village called Eldoria. The village was renowned for its breathtaking beauty and the magical forest that bordered it, known as the Enchanted Grove. The grove was said to be a place where dreams came alive, and the trees whispered secrets to those who listened. In Eldoria lived a kind-hearted young woman named Leora. She had a deep love for nature and spent her days tending to her garden and exploring the edges of the Enchanted Grove. Leora was known for her kindness to both people and animals. One day, while tending to her garden, she discovered an injured fawn hiding among the flowers. She carefully tended to its wounds, and in gratitude, the fawn nuzzled her gently before disappearing into the forest. That night, as Leora slept, she dreamt of a grand, ancient tree in the heart of the Enchanted Grove. The tree had a golden glow and seemed to call out to her. When she awoke, she felt an inexplicable pull to the forest. She decided to follow her intuition and visit the Enchanted Grove the next morning. As she ventured into the forest, the sunlight filtered through the canopy, creating a shimmering dance of light and shadow. Leora walked deeper and deeper, her heart guided by the sense of wonder and a soft whisper of the trees. After hours of walking, she reached a clearing where the ancient tree from her dream stood majestically. The tree was enormous, its branches stretching high into the sky, and its leaves shimmered like emeralds. At the base of the tree was a small door carved with intricate runes. As Leora approached, the door creaked open, revealing a spiral staircase leading down into the earth. With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, Leora descended the staircase. At the bottom, she found herself in a grand underground hall filled with glowing orbs of light floating in midair. In the center of the hall was a large, ornate pedestal with an ancient book resting upon it. The book's cover was adorned with the same runes as the door. As Leora approached the pedestal, the book opened on its own, revealing pages filled with glowing text. A soft voice filled the hall, saying, "Welcome, Leora. You have been chosen to restore the balance of the enchanted grove. The magic of the grove is fading, and only a pure-hearted soul can rekindle its light." Leora's heart raced with both wonder and concern. "What must I do to restore the magic?" she asked. "The grove's magic is tied to the essence of 3 sacred elements," the voice explained. "You must journey to the 3 mystical springs of the grove and collect a vial of water from each one. The first spring lies within the misty falls, the second within the crystal cavern, and the third within the whispering glade." The book closed gently, and the orbs of light guided Leora back up the staircase and out into the forest. Her quest had begun. Leora's first destination was the Misty Falls. The path was shrouded in a delicate mist, and the sound of rushing water filled the air. She navigated carefully, following the sound until she reached the majestic falls. Behind the cascading water was a hidden cave where the spring's waters glowed with a soft, silver light. Leora filled her vial with the enchanted water and continued her journey. Next, she headed to the crystal cavern. The entrance to the cavern was guarded by a gentle dragon named Zephyr. Zephyr was known for his wisdom and serene nature. He questioned Leora about her quest and, upon hearing her earnest intentions, allowed her to enter. Inside the cavern, the walls sparkled with countless crystals, casting colorful reflections everywhere. At the heart of the cavern was the spring, its water shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. Leora carefully collected the water, and Zephyr wished her luck on her journey. Finally, Leora made her way to the Whispering Glade. The glade was a peaceful forest glen where the trees seemed to hum softly. At the center was the spring, surrounded by delicate flowers that swayed in rhythm with the breeze. As Leora filled her vial, the flowers gently brushed against her, and she felt a deep sense of tranquility. With all 3 vials filled, Leora returned to the ancient tree. The orbs of light guided her back to the underground hall. She placed the vials on the pedestal, and the book opened once more. The orbs of light began to dance around the hall, and the water from the vials poured into the book's pages, causing the runes to glow brightly. The book spoke, "You have restored the balance of the enchanted grove. Its magic shall now flourish once more, and the harmony of the forest shall be preserved." As Leora emerged from the underground hall, she saw that the enchanted grove was more vibrant than ever. The trees were lush, the flowers bloomed in a riot of colors, and the stars above twinkled with renewed brilliance. Returning to Eldoria, Leora found that her village was also flourishing. The villagers celebrated her bravery and kindness, and the village thrived under the renewed magic of the enchanted grove. Leora's story became a cherished tale in Eldoria, and the enchanted grove remained a place of wonder and magic for generations to come. And so, the valley and its people lived happily ever after, forever blessed by the bravery of a pure-hearted young woman and the magic of the enchanted grove. The end. Once upon a time, nestled between lush, rolling hills and a serene, sparkling lake, lay the quaint village of Leora. The village was famous for its beautiful lantern festival, held every autumn under the light of the harvest moon. Each year, the villagers would craft magnificent lanterns of all shapes and sizes, illuminating the night with a warm, magical glow. At the edge of the village, in a cozy cottage with a thatched roof, lived a young girl named Elara. Elara had a special gift. She could create lanterns that shimmered with a light so enchanting it seemed to dance and sing. The lanterns she made were the centerpiece of the festival, and they brought joy to everyone who saw them. This year, however, a shadow had fallen over the village. A fierce storm had ravaged the lands, causing the river to flood and the crops to wither. As the festival approached, the villagers worried that their beloved tradition might be overshadowed by the misfortunes they had faced. The magic of the lantern seemed dimmer, and the harvest moon felt far away. Ilara, determined to restore the village's spirit, decided to create a lantern unlike any other. She called it the Lantern of Leora, a lantern that would embody the heart and hope of the village. She believed that if she could craft this lantern with pure intention and hope, it might rekindle the village's magic. Ilara worked tirelessly on the Lantern of Leora, using the finest materials she could find: moonlit silk, shimmering gold thread, and a rare, radiant crystal she had found in the forest. She poured her heart into every stitch, whispering her wishes for the village's prosperity with each turn of her needle. One evening, as Ilara worked on the final touches of the lantern, an old, mysterious woman appeared at her door. Her cloak was dark, and her eyes sparkled with a knowing light. "I am Morgana, the keeper of the harvest moon," the woman said. "I sense you are working on something special. May I see your creation?" Ilara hesitated but then nodded and led Morgana to her workshop. The old woman examined the Lantern of Leora with a discerning eye. After a moment, she spoke. "This lantern is crafted with great love and hope. But to truly shine with the magic you seek, it must be blessed by the spirit of the harvest moon. To do that, you must undertake a journey to the moonlit grove, where the spirit resides." Ilara was both excited and apprehensive. She asked Morgana for guidance, and the old woman gave her a small, silver key. "This key will open the way to the moonlit grove," Morgana explained. "But remember, the journey will test your courage and heart." With the key in hand, Ilara set out on her journey. She ventured through the whispering woods, where the trees seemed to murmur ancient secrets. Guided by moonlight, she followed a path that led to the moonlit grove, a magical forest bathed in a soft, silver glow. In the heart of the grove, she found a grand, ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. Ilara used the silver key to unlock the trunk, revealing a hidden staircase that spiraled upward. Climbing the stairs, she emerged into a breathtaking moonlit clearing. At the center of the clearing stood a magnificent, ethereal figure, the spirit of the harvest moon. The spirit was adorned in flowing robes of moonlight, and her presence radiated a serene and gentle light. "Welcome, Ilara," the spirit said, her voice like a soft breeze. "I have seen your dedication and the love you have put into the Lantern of Leora. To receive my blessing, you must demonstrate the true spirit of hope and unity." The spirit explained that Ilara needed to light the lantern and let it float into the sky, but it would only work if she could overcome 3 trials: the trial of courage, the trial of kindness, and the trial of wisdom. Trial of courage. The first trial was to face a fierce, enchanted wind that roared through the grove. Ilara had to hold the lantern steady against the howling wind. She took a deep breath, stood firm, and held the lantern high, her resolve unshaken by the gusts. Trial of kindness. Next, she encountered a group of lost, magical creatures who were frightened and hungry. Ilara shared the food she had brought with her and comforted them with kind words. The creatures, grateful for her compassion, guided her to the final trial. Trial of wisdom. The last trial was to solve a riddle presented by the spirit of the harvest moon. The riddle was, "I am not alive, but I grow. I do not have lungs, but I need air. I do not have a mouth, but I need water to live. What am I?" Ilara thought carefully and answered, "A flame." The spirit of the harvest moon smiled and nodded. "You have shown great courage, kindness, and wisdom. The Lantern of Leora is now ready to shine with the magic of the harvest moon." Ilara returned to the village, her heart full of hope. The villagers gathered in anticipation as she carried the Lantern of Leora to the center of the village. With a gentle touch, she ignited the lantern's light. The lantern's glow was magnificent, casting a warm, golden hue over the entire village. As the lantern floated into the night sky, it illuminated the darkness with a brilliant, enchanting light. the magic of the lantern seemed to reach every corner of Glimmerbrook, reviving the village's spirit and bringing new life to the land. The river flowed once again, the crops began to flourish, and the Festival of Lights was celebrated with renewed joy and splendor. The villagers danced and sang under the glowing lanterns, their hearts lifted by the radiant light of the lantern of Leora. Elara's bravery and dedication became a cherished story in Glimmerbrook, a reminder of the power of hope and the magic that lies in every heart. And as the harvest moon shone brightly over the village, it blessed them with prosperity and happiness for years to come. Once upon a time, in a hidden corner of the world, lay the forgotten kingdom of Astria. This kingdom was renowned for its dazzling beauty, with skies filled with twinkling stars, and fields that sparkled under the moonlight. At the heart of Astria was the Starflower Garden, where magical flowers bloomed only under the light of the stars, their petals glowing with celestial light. These starflowers were said to hold the power to grant wishes and bring prosperity to the kingdom. The guardian of the Starflower Garden was a gentle fairy named Leora. Leora was beloved by the people of Astria for her wisdom and her nurturing care of the magical flowers. However, one day, a great shadow fell over Astria. A wicked sorceress named Vesper, envious of the kingdom's light and beauty, cast a dark spell that caused the stars to vanish from the sky, plunging the kingdom into perpetual night. With the stars gone, the starflowers began to wilt, and the kingdom's once vibrant beauty faded into darkness. The people of Astria were filled with despair. And their once prosperous land was now a cold, dark shadow of its former self. It was then that a brave young girl named Elara stepped forward. Elara had grown up hearing stories of the Starflower Garden and had always dreamed of seeing its magic. Determined to save her kingdom, she vowed to find the missing stars and restore the light to Astria. Elara set off on her journey under the dim glow of the moon. Her first challenge came at the edge of the enchanted forest, a place where ancient trees whispered secrets and magical creatures roamed. The forest was now a place of eerie silence, the enchantment of old faded away. As Elara walked deeper into the forest, she encountered a wise old owl named Orion. To restore the stars, Orion said, you must pass through the Forest of Echoes. There, you will find 3 trials that test your heart and your spirit. Only by completing these trials will you be able to continue your quest. Elara nodded, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Orion guided her to the entrance of the Forest of Echoes, where the first trial awaited. The first trial, the trial of courage. In the Forest of Echoes, Elara faced a dark and winding path shrouded in mist. The air was thick with shadows, and eerie noises filled the silence. At the end of the path stood a grand archway guarded by a fearsome dragon named Draconis. The dragon's scales were as dark as the night, and his eyes glowed with a fierce light. To pass, Draconis rumbled, you must confront your deepest fear and prove your courage. Elara took a deep breath and stepped forward. She faced her fear of the unknown, her heart pounding as the shadows seemed to close in around her. But she reminded herself of her purpose and her love for her kingdom. With unwavering resolve, she walked through the archway, and the shadows parted to reveal the next challenge. The second trial, the trial of wisdom. The second trial brought Elara to a serene glade where a shimmering pool of water lay. The guardian of the pool, a graceful water nymph named Neres, awaited her. To proceed, Neres said, you must answer this riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I? Elara thought deeply about the riddle. She listened to the rustling of the leaves and the whispering breeze. An echo, she answered. Neres smiled and the pool's surface rippled, revealing a hidden path that led to the final trial. The third trial, the trial of compassion. The final trial led Elara to a moonlit meadow where a small, wounded unicorn named Luna lay. Luna's silver horn was dulled, and her once bright eyes were filled with pain. To lift the darkness, Luna spoke softly, you must heal me with the light of your compassion. Only a heart filled with true kindness can restore my strength. Elara knelt beside Luna and gently tended to her wounds. She spoke soothing words and shared stories of her homeland, hoping to bring comfort. As she cared for Luna, her genuine compassion began to shine through, and the unicorn's strength returned. Luna's horn began to glow once more, and she rose to her feet with renewed vitality. "You have completed the trials with courage, wisdom, and compassion," Luna said. "Follow me, and I will guide you to the source of the darkness." Luna led Elara to a hidden cavern where Vesper, the wicked sorceress, was using the stolen stars to fuel her dark magic. The cavern was filled with a cold, unnatural light, and the stars were trapped in a swirling vortex of shadow. Elara approached Vesper with a steady heart. "Please, return the stars to their rightful place. The kingdom of Astria needs them to restore its light and beauty." Vesper's eyes flashed with anger, but as she looked at Elara, she saw the sincerity and bravery in her heart. The sorceress had been consumed by jealousy and darkness, but Elara's compassion reached her soul. With a heavy sigh, Vesper released the stars from their prison, and the celestial lights began to ascend back to the sky. As the stars returned, the night sky of Astria sparkled once more. And the starflowers in the garden began to bloom with their magical glow. The kingdom was bathed in a warm, golden light, and the darkness was lifted. Elara returned to Glimmerbrook as a hero, and the people celebrated her bravery and kindness. Vesper, her heart touched by the beauty of compassion, chose to leave behind her dark ways and seek a path of redemption. The Starflower Garden thrived again, and Astria was restored to its former glory. The story of Elara's quest and the trials she faced became a cherished legend, reminding everyone of the power of courage, wisdom, and compassion in the face of darkness. And so, the stars continued to shine brightly over the Forgotten Kingdom, a beacon of hope and a reminder of the light that can be found in even the darkest of times.